We are so close now to the big day. The World Championship Finals are happening over the weekend for Duel Links, Speed Duel, Rush Duel, Master Duel, the TCG, and we're expecting a big reveal for Duel Links, the new world, the big update, whatever's gonna happen. Will it be a big GX World revamp? Will we get some brand new features? Will it be Rush Duel Rituals? We don't know, but today we're going to kind of go down one route, because there is something happening in OCG for Rush Duel that is really, really big, and could, based on the last couple of years, hint as to what we are going to be seeing in Duel Links very soon. Now, it could be the new world update, right? Or it could happen a bit later, but still happen in the same way. So, today they revealed the Cross Art Collection, the first cards from it. We're getting full arts of Diamond Gold Dragon Knight, Adoption Dragon Knight that connect together, look really cool. We're getting a brand new spell card as well, two of them. One of them is a Secret Order for DM and DMG, gains some attack points, it's okay. The other one is a Miracle Fusion for those Dragon Knight monsters, which is really, really big. But the big thing is the Dimension Linker support. Now, if you remember for Duel Links back from 9th anniversary back in January, we had this card release, and this is designed to celebrate the 9 years of Duel Links. I mentioned 9 dimensions, and she's very clearly going through the Duel Links gate, the inspired by the legendary Duelist gate, and this was released in Duel Links first, before it was available in Japan as a promo card that's now like $500. But now there's more support coming. There's an entire 10 card wave, including rituals, and there's still 3 cards missing. So we're going to go through all these cards, but importantly, let's get the cope out of the way. Why are we talking about this, right? Obviously, Dimension Linker, Duel Links, it's a reference. Why does it matter? Well, the year before, we had the release of Fusion of Revolution, the mini box alongside the Garage campaign. Of course, the campaign also gave us Ancient Gear Golem. In the box, we got Imaginary Actor. Now, this released 10 days later in the Neo Legend Awakening pack, the same pack as the Ancient Gear Golem, as you can see from the card artwork, so we got these about 10 days early. Now, this Cross Art Collection is releasing on October 12th. The timeline matches up pretty much identically to what happened then, so we could in theory see an earlier release of some of these cards come to the game. Now, have we seen them release stuff into Rush Duel, Duel Links, and the OCG at the same time? Kind of, yeah. You look at Gradius. Last year, we had Gradius release around the same time as it was printed. I think it was like a week and a half later or something. It was very close. Of course, we had the BS stuff happen in Duel Links and Master at the same time as OCG. The year before, we've had cards in Master at the same time as OCG. And even this year, of course, for the anniversary Master Duel, we had the IP Masquerade Altar, the Live No One, and the Fancy Ball all come to Master Duel before the OCG. And so I think there is a very good chance we could be seeing this Dimension Linker support arrive in Duel Links, or at least some of it, this year, at the end of September, for the big update, potentially being rituals. Now, as we talked about a couple of days ago, right, they could hold this off until November, right, where we expect to get a box going into the GRF in early December, right, we expect that, we expect a character around then, and so they could hold off until then, and maybe that's worth doing, right, doing a speed update first of all, and then a rush one, but we'll see what happens. But these cards are full of Duel Links references, and so I think it is worth looking at and seeing, could these come to the game? And I think overall, yeah, they can. So, first of all, new card-wise, we have Dimension Valletta. Now, Valletta, in her artwork, of course, has the Duel Links gate behind her, but she's themed around the red gates, the event Duelist gate, right? Which is pretty cool. Her gun has a red gate key in it, and there's a skill icon in the gun. So, clearly she's shooting us with skills, and given skills are the bane of Duel Links players' existence, this does somewhat make sense. Now, is she any good? Well, stat-wise, she's fine, right? 22 attack is nothing to scoff at. It's not great, not amazing for level 8, but you can stun around defense mode by discarding a card, and then you send top card to the graveyard to change the option of any monster on the field. Then, if you have 3 or more different types of graveyard of monsters, which is going to be important, that's kind of the whole gimmick of this theme, this card is placing bad damage. Now, the cool thing with this is it's very reminiscent of Polglaze Spears, which you remember back in January was how you played Dimension Linker in Duel Links. So they've obviously taken some of the game plan we've had with the Duel Links version of Linker and brought that into the OCG Rush Duel format inside of the theme, which is pretty good. It makes sense because you can't replay Polglaze Spears with Linker, given there's some restrictions later on. We've then got Dimension Channel, and this one again is full of references, right? You've got a UI inspired by the Duel Links world, right? You've got the mission icons here. Both of our Valletta and our Linker are going to be NPC sound duelists. We've got some gems on the strap there. We've got a heart piece, which could be coping a reference to Cross Duel in a very, very weird way. Probably not. It probably is some event thing or something. Or maybe it's something we see down the line. Right, you've got the things here for Linker, and then we'll see how that all kind of pans out. But this shovels 2 bodies back if you grab into the deck, make it become level 8, so perfect for the ritual summons. Then, if you shuffled back an Earth Cyberburst ritual to make the requirement, you can pop a back row. So built-in back row removal, that's pretty solid. Pretty solid. And it is more difficult to pull off. It's not going to be a thing you pull off every single turn, but still, really good. We've then got Dimension Opera, or Dimension Operative, and there's no real Duel Links references to this card in the card art, aside from, like, the background obviously being shared with the overall theme. Level 4 Light Cyberburst, you send a card from your graveyard to draw 1, it is a Mystic Dealer, which you see quite often in many Rush Duel decks, right, having this effect, but then you get that bonus effect if they're throwing more monsters of different types. So at the moment we've seen Cyberbursts, we're going to see a Warrior, but we haven't seen the third in-theme type, and we'll talk about that again later on. You can then add back 1 level 8 Light Cyberburst from your graveyard to your hand, but this turn you can only attack with a higher Cyberbursts, meaning you're adding back your Linker or your Roulette. Those are your only 2 real targets right now you've got to add back. We've then got Nahime, the Dimensionally Sworn ally, which kind of brings us into the story of this Linker, because it seems like this wave of cards is based around the Talismanic Warriors. Of course, we saw them in Duel Links early on via Gavin. He had the Fusion, he had some of the most level up wards, and of course the big spell card, Talismanic Seal Array, which was a meta staple in Rush Duel in Duel Links. Now, it is an Earth Warrior, you reveal a Cyberburst in your hand, to set 1 Dimension Pair Link L or R from your graveyard to your field, but this turn, you can't use the effect again. So this is a hard once per turn effect, how they're doing in Rush Duel. These are your ritual spell cards, and both of them are pretty solid. So we've then got the ritual monsters, right? First of all is Wasso Goes and Linker, our Dimension Linker Retrain ritual. 100 more attack point stat, which is fine, right? 26 is okay, not amazing. However, this card does gain attack points equal to the number of different types in your graveyard, times 100, so it's most likely going to be becoming 29, 3000, around that, right? If you're thinking what they have in theme. And then, if you have 3 more different types, this card is going to be destroyed by card effects. So, no Dark Holes, no Widespread, no popping with another card in this theme for the mirror match, right? So, that's not too bad, right? In Duel Links specifically, right, you've got Widespread as the big option. You've got things like your Red Eyes Ritual spell as another big thing. You've got the Worm Fusion as well. Means this will be immune to be targeted and be destroyed by that Worm Fusion. We've then got Wacko Goes and Roulette, who is again our retrain of Roulette, and more themed around the Talismanic Warriors, right? This is what these rituals are very much implying, that this is Talismanic Warrior theming. And she is a lot better, I think, than Linker, but her effect only works during the turn you summon this card by discarding a card. You then destroy any card in your opponent's field. That's really big, because in Rush Duel right now, there's a bunch of times where you may only be able to destroy things that are level 8 or lower, so you can't target fusions, you can't target maximums. This card, it destroys anything, but it's once per turn. During the turn, you ritual summon, and if you have 3 or more monsters in your graveyard with different types, it becomes 29, that's okay. It also does lock you into attacking with Cyberburst monsters, but also, it's a hard once per turn as well. So, unlike Red Eyes in Rush right now, you aren't going to be getting that potential pop-off multiple times a turn. It is once per turn, and I feel like that's really, really fair for Duel Links Rush right now. So far, I'm seeing nothing here that really is saying these cards couldn't come to Duel Links immediately and be pretty good. Now, could all of them come in the box? Sure, but some of them could be skill locked, especially, right, if you look at the other Oshi things we've had, like things like XQT and Gradius. They've not given them amazing skills, but they've put the extra deck cards in the extra deck for them, so that things are kind of balanced-ish. We've then got Dimension Pair Link LNR, both of them, of course, again, combined together to form one artwork like the rituals do, and this one's cool because in the artwork, you have the Duel Links orb that's behind the logo in the top of the artwork. You've got the gate in the background, but this one really is saying, you know what, these are the Duel Links cards, and both of these are pretty good, and they work kind of the same. So Dimension Pair Link L lets you ritual summon your Dimension Linker ritual by using monsters from your field. So you can't use from your hand, that's okay. Then you can discard a card to summon out a Dimension Roulette from your graveyard in defense mode. So you ritual summon the Linker, you get a Roulette. Similarly, if you go for Pair Link R, you do the same thing. You ritual summon Roulette, you get out Linker. Both of them designed to swarm the board a bit, and then, of course, you can go for the ritual summon of the other one, and then bring one back. So the idea is you're playing both rituals in the same turn, getting 2 rituals out, getting a third body out, probably going to be Roulette at that point, and then you can hopefully go for some piercing damage. So it does seem like a deck that can if things go right, very easily swarm the field of rituals and attack in, deal some big damage. And it is, again, very much inspired by the Duel Link skill, right? The skill basically shoved linkers on your field for free, right? You could get 2 to 3 linkers or like Pogless on your field for free with that skill. And this is kind of doing that in theme, and so I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We've then got Dimension Jump. Now, this one is again referencing the Duel Links gate. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dimensions in the background, and the one we're visiting right now, I believe, is this one in the top right. It is the Talismanic Seal dimension, and we don't know what these other ones are. We've got like a nebula here, we've got an ocean, you've got a lava pit, that's like generically the sky, I guess. Like this one here could, in theory, be Bubble Actress field spell, right? It's not. It just seems like a generic cityscape, but in theory, it could be that, why not? And this is kind of like your Rising Hero Argent, you're milling 3, adding a card back, either a light Cyberburst monster or a level 4 with 500 defense points. Now, that of course does mean anything we've seen in the archetype, right? Your Sworn Ally, your Opa, your Channel, but also generic stuff, right? Things like your Balloon Boutier, things like Massive Angler, things like Lore Limey, and all of them are different types, all of them can then help to fuel the attack point gain of Why So Goes a Linker, or the bonus effects of your Roletta, or of your Ritual Monsters. And finally, is Feud and Isen a brand new trap card, and of course we have here the big guy from Talismanic Seal, the big beast you are fighting, confirming this is the universe that we are in, and this trap is kind of like a Shiny Shady, in a way, right? When your opponent normal special summons a monster, you shuffle 1 Cyberburst and 1 non-Cyberburst from your graveyard back to the deck, so not using your hand, using your graveyard. That's obviously really good. To then Book of Moon, a level 8 alone monster on your opponent's field to face on defense position. Then if you've got a face-up Earth Attribute Cyberburst ritual on your field, so either your Link or Roletta rituals, you can also pop that monster. So you are getting around protection, right, by Book of Mooning it. That's big. But also, it also is kind of reminiscent of some of the weaknesses Linker had. Shiny Shady couldn't go against things like Reverse Meteor, whereas this can. Obviously, it can't hit things like big maximums, it can't hit, big fusions, unfortunately. But for those weaker bodies, for things like rituals, which a lot of them are level 8, if you go and have a look at what we're actually like, if we were to get rituals in Duel Links, and look at what we'd actually be potentially seeing, right? If we just go and have a look for rituals, and we look at level 8, you've got stuff like Black Plus Soldier, Magician of Black Chaos. Both of those would be very likely to come very early on into Duel Links Rush Duel, and so in that sense, having this card release would make a ton of sense, right? To kind of fit in with the current metagame if they are going to try and push rituals quite a bit, right? So we'll see if this comes to fruition. It might not. I do think there's a pretty good chance of these coming to Duel Links sooner or later, though. I think that given the whole Duel Links theming of the cards themselves, we have Dimension Link is still available in the campaign until the end of the year, right? So you've got that 4-month period to try and sell you on. I think, even if they don't release Rush Duel Rituals in September, I wouldn't be surprised if day 1 of Rituals in Rush Duel, you are seeing Roletta and Linker come to the game and tearing things up. So overall, a bunch of really cool cards, and if you are wondering, what is this website we're using, stay tuned, because there may be things cooking, there may not be, depends on what kind of gets announced this weekend, actually, if I feel like I want to kind of carry things on, but yeah. Anyway, that's all. Let me thoughts down below on the Copium. Do you think we'll see Rush Duel Rituals? Do you think we'll see, GX revamp or something different? Let me thoughts down below. Thanks for watching. Adios.